Hello, it is I, beer, made with 5% root concentrate, and I'm here with episode 8 of Executioner. We're 2/3 of the way through the whole series. In this week's episode, we have spoopy monsters and a whole lot of reused animations. Let's get into it, shall we? Our episode begins with our leads returning from their little trip to Pandemonium and perusing one of the markets at the port. There's an amusing little sequence where Akari tries to feed Menno a watermelon only to have it returned to her in a very suggestive manner. Honestly, this whole episode seems to have turned up the horniness meter on Akari. It seems like whatever semblance of chill she might have had got eaten in Pandemonium. But the happy fun times are quickly interrupted by an ambush by the Fourth that was planned out in the previous episode. It did not end well. Menno quickly dispatched the one that attacked her, and even planned in advance for Akari to be taken hostage. So our two assailants are quickly subdued and handed over to local knights. And who else would be in the market at that same time but Manon? Poor girl just can't catch a break. First she has to attend a meeting with the Revolution where they talk down to her, then she's gotta go to the creepy basement to collect her human sacrifices, and she just wants to go get a snack, but they have to go and start an ambush right then and there while she's trying to eat. Come on guys, give her a break. Anyways, Manon decides that these two idiots are gonna start squealing the second they see a prison cell, so she decides to silence them by transforming them into monsters. To be honest, I kinda thought the anime would make a bigger deal out of this moment. Admittedly, this is pretty close to how it was played in the novels, where the moment is kind of ominous, but it's not a super huge deal. No one's like, whoa, what the hell? And you think it would be, because something like this involves using some major taboos in their world. And on top of that, the anime reordered events compared to the novels. So originally in the novels, the meeting with Cecilia that Menno has halfway through this episode occurred right at the very beginning when they first arrived in town, and so the details of the plot are explained to us a lot sooner than they are in the anime. One criticism I do have of the novels is that it tends to play its hand a little bit early, tends to give away key details sooner than it needs to, which robs future scenes of the tension or shock that they could have. It also has a tendency to meander a bit as it tries to get all of its pieces in place, as we've seen with these last couple of episodes. And so my hope was that, because they reordered the events, that they would take the opportunity to make this particular moment more dramatic, to really hook people into the conflict. And really, I was hoping that we would actually get to see Menno fighting the monsters, just so we could have a taste of like, okay, this is what could happen as things develop in the future. But ultimately, that didn't happen. What we have is serviceable, but it could have been better. After our little monster mash, Menno goes to meet with the local pastor Cecilia to request travel funds. She is rejected, of course, and gets strong-armed into helping with the little monster drug situation that we've got going on with the Fourth. Speaking of the Fourth, they are none too pleased with what Manon pulled at the market. As the leaders of their movement, they are obviously aware of the dangers that their own product poses. Manon reveals that she has indeed poisoned all of them by lacing their food with the monster pills, and she kindly demonstrates the position they're all in by having a member who annoyed her strangle themselves to death. This whole scene was great. Manon is my favorite character in the novel, so I'm very glad to see her being done justice so far. Unfortunately, the episode takes a dip in quality after this. The rest of the episode features a lot of awkward cuts and reused animations. To their credit, I think they tried to put a positive spin on a very obviously bad thing by trying to play the reused animation for humor, but it's still pretty jarring to see. So, for example, after the evil meeting of evil, Momo hits the streets to gather information on the monster drugs when she runs into Ashna again. The two of them end up at a bar, and the direction is just so weird throughout this entire scene. The camera focuses on just the weirdest things, like the beginning of their conversation is zoomed in on their drinks, and then several points in the talk they like pan around at various things in the bar, like the bottles and the shelves, but rarely focuses in on the two characters actually talking. And there's a particular animation loop where Momo is angrily munching on peanuts that gets reused several times throughout the conversation. Again, it feels like they were trying to play it for comedy, except it's so obviously the same animation over and over again that it's hard to actually find the humor after a little while. And after that, Menno and Momo have a conversation about the information that Ashna gave to Momo, and the framing of this scene is identical to a previous conversation the two of them had about the monster drugs, where they're both lounging around in the lobby of the hotel. Though, to their credit, at least they have the characters kind of changing positions from how they were the first time, so it's not quite as jarring to look at. So, the plan that our main characters put together is that Momo is going to be attacking the drug production facility that she figured the location of from Ashna, and Menno is going to investigate Manon by attending a party that she's hosting, which Ashna will also be at. And then we have another instance of really jarring and obvious animation reuse when Akari starts complaining that she wants to go to the party too, and the animation the entire time is 100% completely identical to a previous scene where Akari tried to jump on Menno in bed. It's real bad. Executioner has never been amazingly animated. I've complained about how plain a lot of the fight scenes have been in previous episodes, but this episode is a really egregious dip in quality. Hopefully this is not indicative of future episodes, like they're just conserving their budget and energy for the bigger things to come. The episode ends on a bit of an ominous note as our main characters go in to attend the ball that Manon is putting on. Next week, things are going to heat up a bit as the next episode preview shows we're going to have a confrontation between Menno and Ashna, a meeting between Manon and Akari, and Momo going in to infiltrate the drug production facility. But for now, that's going to be it for this episode. As always, if you like the video, please do all of the things that make the algorithms happy. I do my own background art, so if you like it, there will be a link in the description. You can also follow me on Twitter at Plasma Eclipse. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.